This podcast contains some magical adult language. Listener discretion is advised. And sorry, Mom.
I'm going to Disney World. I'm going to...
Whoa. You're not Mickey Mouse, you're a rat.
Rat smack! Besides, they're tourists. What do they know?
Ho, 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 and welcome to Rat Castle, a progressive chat about theme park magic with no pixie dust, but a little bit of Christmas dust, a little bit of mistletoe. All right, I am your cotton-headed niggy muggins. Is that how it works? Cotton-headed niggy muggins. Nathan Hartman. And on this episode, this wonderful Christmas episode, for it is, as you are listening, if it's the day of release, the 18th, and you're getting your gifts wrapped. Hopefully this is gift wrapping episode, so listen while you're wrapping your gifts here. And with me is my whole rat family for a rat Christmas. Everyone has come through the door
for the first time in like 2 months.
Yeah,
It's a Christmas miracle.
It is a Christmas miracle. Far too long.
Together for the holidays. You gotta get with the family for the holidays.
I agree. I concur. And that family includes Victoria. Hello, Victoria.
Good day. Well, evening.
Good day. And Dave Cobb. Hello, Dave.
Yo, hello everybody. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate.
I found out I'm learning about my local history now that I live in Maryland. And Kwanzaa was created by someone who was raised here in Wacomico County, Maryland. So
that's
how fun
awesome.
Is that?
That is true. That is true.
True story. So, a happy Kwanzaa to all of my brothers and sisters out there.
Nathan.
No, brother.
Have you heard the state Christmas song?
No. Oh, yes. You sent me the birthday song. I heard that.
No. Have you heard the state Christmas song?
No, I've not heard the state Christmas song. I will have to look up the state Christmas song. But also with us tonight. Oh, I feel like some Kwanzaa people are coming to my door and beat me up now that I've defamed the name of Kwanzaa with my whiteness. All right, Sarah. Hello, Sarah.
Hello.
And last but certainly not least, our cub reporter in the Sunshine State, Janine. Hello, Janine.
Hello. Did we skip Dave?
No.
We did skip
no.
Dave.
I was
No,
first.
we didn't skip Dave.
I
He was first.
He was
I was the one who
second.
brought up all the other holidays.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Wait,
Yeah.
Wild.
where was
I
I?
am Janine.
Have another
I don't know,
cup of
something's off
eggnog,
of it.
Janine. Have another eggnog. It's all good.
So we
We're
are.
gonna get eggnog drunk tonight.
Get eggnog drunk, people. That's the season. So here's the thing. I am almost done with grading. I'm very, very close. Some of you have finished finals. We would like to congratulate Sarah for her degree.
I'm a master's graduate.
What?
Rips.
We're
That's so
repping
awesome.
USC strong. Go Trojans. Hello. So yes, I am.
Mistress. You're a mistress now.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Mistress. Call me mistress.
Mistress Sarah.
It kind of goes with the escort conversations.
Yeah.
that
Yeah, we had the
having.
other. Yeah, call me. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And then
This
Trojans.
already took such a turn.
And Trojans.
And
Yeah.
Trojans.
And
So,
Trojans.
Everything's
So.
taken care of. And then of
Gross.
course, we have what was I saying a second ago? We have grading, we have graduating. We all got all sorts of stuff going on. Sarah, though, not only are you graduating,
Good
but you
Lord.
weren't here last episode because you were on a date. And-
Oh
was.
yeah.
We agreed here without you that we had to ask you about your date to see how it went because, sis, we have to keep an eye on you.
Y'all really do.
Got it.
With all of your rat fame, all them honeys are coming out of the woodwork
Listen.
to get a glimpse of that spotlight. And so we got to keep an eye on you.
Listen.
How did it go? How was your date?
Well,
I say like
Okay.
I don't know.
what's so crazy? It actually was great. It was a great time. I had a wonderful time with this person. And that was I believe it was our third or fourth date. I can't remember. So we've gone out multiple times.
Oh,
Come to find out, The man was giving us Republican light, and
What?
I was very shocked. I was very shocked.
Oh no.
Because
No,
we
no,
did
no,
the
no.
litmus test in the beginning, and I didn't even say anything to him. As soon as we met for the first time, he was asking me like where I had been traveling, and like I was telling him all about that. And he was like, "Oh yeah, like all this stuff that's happening in the Middle East, like it's so sad. Like I've really been following up. I'm for, free Palestine, whatever, whatever." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, cool, 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 progressive."
Yeah.
But why
Oh,
did
no,
it?
that's that
It just like,
horseshoe theory going on.
yeah, I don't. It was.
So what happened? What did he say?
He
what
was
was the
just
trigger?
The trigger was I was talking to him about it was about people that were boycotting Starbucks and everything. And I was like, "Oh, I
Okay.
think that that's pretty cool." And then he was like, "Oh, it's probably just you and your Twitter buddies." And I was like, "Me and my who?" Like
Huh?
me and my Twitter buddies? Like it was just
What?
very like weird. And then
Uh-huh.
he also said that he thought that Elon Musk was actually smart.
Oh no.
I knew
And
that's
he-
who it was.
Oh.
Remember how
Oh, that's a loss. That's a loss.
Oh God. But then, okay, I was like, wait, do you really think so? And he was like, no, like I don't know. And it felt like he would always go in and out of what just to like maybe not, I guess,
Right.
make me
Hedging his
feel
bets.
yeah.
Right.
And so I was just very confused. And I was like, okay, well, he seems to be very progressive when it comes to other things,
Mhm.
but then he kind of he's not progressive in some things. And I was just very confused. So anyway, how it kind of all came to a head was when he was just like, I don't necessarily think, because I was talking to him about the Joe Rogan podcast, and I was like, I think anybody that
Oh,
listens to that
boy.
podcast it just needs help. And he was just like, well, I don't know. I mean, he seems to, even if you don't necessarily agree with him, you have to give it to him. He does have the largest podcast. Da, 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 da. And I was just like, oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
I mean, it's
Oh,
not always
boy.
about Hitler, but you kind of have to be like, you got to give it to him. Big book burnings. Lots of
Yeah.
people than book burnings.
Stalin wasn't, I guess he had some good policies, but
Yeah.
all the famine and all these different things that were happening. And so, like, I don't know.
But it wasn't
it
a
just-
small famine. It was a big famine. I
It
mean, you
was
got
a
to give him
big famine.
credit. Like,
yeah,
big
it was
famine.
fairly decent size.
Such a big
It
famine.
was.
The best
Wow.
kind of famine.
Gross.
Yeah, the guy was great though, except like I said, it was giving very much Republican light.
Mm.
But we did go out to dinner yesterday, and
Mm.
yeah, we met up for
Sounds
dinner.
like
But-
you're just skiing down past those red flags, huh? We're just
listen.
wish,
no, no,
wish,
no, no,
wish.
no. It's
We're
over.
just-
It's over. I just wanted free
Okay.
dinner. Sorry.
Okay.
The-
Oh,
Atta girl.
okay.
Atta girl.
Not you freely admit
It is.
In the-
It was my reparation. Sorry, y'all.
In the gay world, I
What?
would have gotten dinner and then
Yeah.
hate fucked him, but that's totally different.
But
Yeah.
maybe, possibly, he was actually pretty cute. But I don't know.
Lord.
He was. We're on to the next, or maybe not.
Moving
because
on.
I don't know if dating's. I don't think dating's for me right now, y'all.
no,
It's a bit
no.
much. It's a bit much. But if you have any people that you think would be great for me, send them my way, y'all. Send them my way.
We have a new segment.
Tinder
The new
now?
segment
We have a new
is
segment.
I am
letters to
serious.
Sarah.
Let us
We'll just-
Yeah.
Just
Y'all
like
think I'm
proposals.
joking.
Yeah.
I am. Listen, I don't have school. I don't have a job. I am looking to be a stay-at-home wife right now. Let's
She's
get
got
it
it all
going.
going on now.
Yes.
As you can see.
I am free.
And you know
So-
what?
Free
We
time.
already have your theme song for this segment. So, it works. There already. We're good to go.
Listen, and I go for personality. You don't have to be a 10.
Oh,
Like I am
got-
for everybody.
I got some
Girl,
straight
you're
voice for you, girl. I got some
I
straight
am
voice for
serious.
you.
I'm so down. Age is nothing
Okay.
but a number to me. Okay,
got
so
some- I
Remember
got some
what?
straight voice for
Remember
you.
standards. Remember when we
I-
had standards?
My ally boys.
Standards.
Get in touch
Allied
with
boys
me.
are good. Allied
Ally
boys are good. I think it's good. I think that there is I think all at least straight women deserve a matchmaker gay. I think that's important.
Matchmaker gay.
Go for it.
Make me a match, find me a find, catch me a catch. Okay,
I'm
so
pretty good at it.
yeah,
I'm pretty good at it.
Dave, like I
important.
said, hook it up. I
All
am
right.
free.
All right. I'll start sniffing
Like
around.
I am down. Listen, age, go for it. Up until
you keep
I don't
bringing
even care.
age up. I think the thing is you're
Right,
bringing it
I'm
up
like-
because
Is that because I'm old? Is that what
no,
you're saying?
No,
Is that my
I'm
friends are
saying
old?
I'm looking at good credit score.
yeah, Sarah
job.
just wants
Yes,
it.
girl.
Sarah wants herself a gray daddy. Is what's going
I
on
do,
here.
I do. I don't
Zaddy.
know. I've always loved
Hey.
an older man, y'all. I've
Nothing
always
wrong
loved
with
an
a
older man.
zaddy.
Oh
So-
boy.
I support
Yeah.
it. Get
Yeah,
your
why not?
133 membership, girl.
I will get it. I will get it.
I mean,
So-
here's the thing. You date 10, 15, 20 years older than you. You could have like 2, 3 husbands before it's all said and done. Because we drop like
I
drop
love
like flies.
Elizabeth
compared to
Taylor
women.
ain't gonna have nothing on you when
No.
you done.
So, right?
Just
Hell, we're gonna
rings.
make it a thing. I'm so excited. We're gonna
Yeah,
make it a
this
thing.
is this
Just
is
kidding.
great.
Dating is back on.
Back on.
Like a dating show segment where like someone guest appears on
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
would be amazing.
Well, okay, so back when I used to work for WWNT, we actually did a dating show once or twice, and it was always a nightmare and a half because you know who are the most awkward men that you could possibly bring for a dating show? Theme park nerds. Not a good mix, folks. Not a good
Yeah.
mix.
But we're all catches.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
Well, girl, you already spoken for.
Girl gets
For real,
Janina over here. She gets married, and she's like, "Well, maybe I don't know." You
No,
know?
I just mean like we're not like creepy nerds.
That's
you know?
true. That's
we're
true.
not. We're not.
This
We,
is
We got-
all of the
we got
all of
three
the
married
theme park
people on this
nerds.
podcast.
See, this is how I figured this podcast out. I said I need a place for my hot theme park nerds. That's what we did.
And we got it. That's
We got
if
it.
you listen to Rat Castle, you're hot. Sorry.
Yes,
There
absolutely.
you
That's
go.
what it is. You're hot.
Speaking of a hot theme park nerd, let's go to the news. And that theme park nerd would have been the legendary Dick Nunes, who we have lost. Who has passed at 91. Dave, could you give those that might not know anything about Dick Nunes a little bit of a history of the Nunes? You're on mute.
Sorry, he's a
You're
giant. in the
mutus.
Disney-
You're mutus about the newness.
He's a giant in the Disney organization. I mean, this is a guy who started as a summer job at Disneyland prior to the park's opening because he heard from his USC classmate and Walt Disney's son-in-law, Ron Miller.
Mhm.
Like he
You
was
know, flex.
deep in that, right? Deep in the, but he was director of park, became director of park operations in like early 60s, and then VP of operation in the
Mhm.
late 60s, and then was sort of from the people who worked there, they had a lot of respect for him. He ruled with like a ran the place like a Rolex watch in one person's words. I believe that was actually Eddie Sato. Eddie tweeted about him and had some good things to say. And the best was Joe Rohde's article. If people have not seen that, go to Joe Rohde's Instagram and read his tribute to Dick Nunes, because here you have two people who could not be more different, right? Joe is hair down to his waist and earrings and a SoCal hippie. And Dick was this very, very cut and dry, very conservative fellow. And when Dick was against something at the Disney organization, he was very against it. He dug his heels in. And one of the famous stories about that is about Animal Kingdom. He was concerned it was just a zoo and that he didn't want Disney to have a zoo and we wouldn't be able to do the kind of quality that he was used to. And so, Joe went to the meeting in a suit and tie to sort of clean up. And when he got there, Dick Nunes was wearing like Bermuda shorts and a Hawaiian shirt, dressed like Joe. And it was just he said it was the perfect moment where he realized that they saw each other, and he realized that Dick really respected the creative process and did want to hear from him and just wanted to be proven wrong. And he was, and was a huge proponent of the project after that initial pitch. And so if you don't know much about him, there's a couple of great books about the Disney organization you can read that all include a lot about Dick Nunes. And he was, but was seen within the organization as one of the people who held the flame for what Walt represented in the best possible way, right? He was there for quality and the kind of fit and finish and the kind of service and the kind of operations, frankly, the kind of leadership they don't have right now, frankly.
Mhm.
Especially in the parks. But he was chairman of Walt Disney Attractions until he retired in '99, and he's a Disney legend, of course. So again, if for you youngins out there who are new to the theme park industry, read up on Dick Nunes. The parks as we know them today would not be what they were without the fingerprints of Dick Nunes on them.
Yeah. You can also read, of course, Dick Nunes' own autobiography on his time there, which is Walt's Apprentice, Keeping the Disney Dream Alive. So, Put that on your Christmas list. The only thing this is why I tweeted about Dick Nunes, which I think is pretty good. I think it's pretty good. But I said the Grim Reaper told Dick Nunes he was going to delay taking him till he was 95, and Nunes told him he'd get the goddamn job done on time or he'd find somebody else. Which, if you know Dick Nunes, that's exactly what he would have said.
Exactly what Dick Nunes would have said.
Yeah. He is a really interesting dude. He is also he is a Disney fashion daddy. For those who don't know, Dick Nunes attempted in, what was it, like the mid 70s, to create a new formal design look for kind of Disney administrative in Florida because it was so hot, which is where you get, it was like a suit jacket and was it Panama shorts? It was shorts and a suit jacket and high socks. It's not a joke. It's real. He attempted to make it happen.
There was an attempt.
Good for him.
Hey, all the Pinterest
AC
girls
was
are wearing
probably
them.
not ubiquitous. You know?
Yeah. So there was an attempt. And now and then at a Halloween event at Disney World or at some Dapper Day, you will see someone pulling a Nunes. It still has its effect on the community a little bit. So
he was the one who sort of instigated the first name policy too amongst the company. You know, he was Dick, Walt was Walt. He wanted everybody to feel, you know, that they were part of the organization.
Yeah. It's weird for me to like stand a conservative, but boy,
he
got shit done. There's just no doubt about it.
He did.
Yep.
He really did.
And I mean, if you're trying to be fashion forward like that and buck, like there's a certain amount of progressiveness in that.
Yeah. Well, he was, I would say he was much like Walt, kind of creatively progressive.
Yeah.
Maybe not socially, but creatively for sure. He was open to the idea of having his mind changed, which is hard to find these days, to say the least.
Oh, truly.
Yeah.
Very true.
Let's move on to something going on at Disney right now, which has thrown a lot of people for a loop. Victoria was telling me this is not super new. This has been a couple weeks happening.
There's an update, though.
Okay, interesting. So, Dave, what's going on? What has currently been banned and people have been trespassed for at Disney World?
So there's a lot of people who do these third-party tour guide services where they will not just book your trip, but also go with you and help you with, help you book your Genie Pluses and sort of be your personal tour guide. And Disney is banning it. They're basically saying no more of that as a business, which on one hand, I understand. But at the same token, I think that just personally, I think that the total trespass is a bit of an overstep, and hopefully and maybe Victoria, your update is that they course corrected a little, because to me, the part that was egregious were the people that were using like the disability access service as part of their services, right?
Yeah,
because that's not cool. But if you're like a travel agent basically, and you're just a travel agent who's booking all this stuff for them and then going with them because you know the parks, I don't understand. I don't understand why that is stepping on Disney's toes, because it's the same as the difference between their travel services that they sell on their own website and the third-party travel services that people use to book the parks. Am I wrong in that kind of assumption?
I think they want you to rent a plaid.
I know, but but again, that there's a market for stuff between that. And if they partnered with people and said, you can't use disability, you can't, you can't do anything that a regular guest can't do.
I think that they just don't have the appetite to partner.
Yeah. To be official.
Well, they do technically partner.
Yeah.
Technically.
So Victoria, what's the update?
So the update is they reached out to the Washington Post and basically explained why they did it officially. This happened yesterday. So to make a long story short, they basically said a lot of people were starting these third-party tours and essentially breaking the rule and basically, using the DAS, X, Y, and Z, all that stuff. And it was getting to a point where they had to do it.
Right.
So without saying too much, it's because people are breaking the rules and abusing the DAS pass system and such.
Right.
Yeah.
And for those of the people out there who don't know what that is, that's like disability access pass is something you have to apply for, and you get sort of priority access to attractions, so you don't have to stand too long. It's if you're in a wheelchair or have a disability or movement issues. And these tour guides were basically saying that, oh, I'm disabled, so I can get you past all of that, and that is so not cool. Like that's one bad
At
apple
all.
ruining it for a lot of people. But and I understand Disney doesn't want that. Disney wants you to buy Genie Plus, but you know what? My friends ask me to go with them because they don't fucking understand Genie Plus either.
Yeah, exactly.
And I do it for free. But what's wrong with having a pro with you? Like you would have a tour guide in a city. I understand it's a walled garden because it's Disney and they want to make every dollar they want off of you. I just think there's a gray area that if they're not breaking the rules and they're using the same tools that every other guest can use,
Yeah.
that you're just having
Well,
a
the
person
thing is,
there.
technically, they are breaking the rules.
Yeah, because it's a commercial service that they're offering within the confines of the park. I get it.
But then technically, like for the families that have nannies that come with them or who
Right.
have hired help, like would that be against it? Because that's also commercial.
Yeah,
No.
but those people aren't necessarily touting a Disney product. They're just helping the family.
Yeah,
I see.
that's a
Yeah.
private service for the family, not
Yeah.
a
Well, could
company
this not-
thing.
But could this not be considered a private? If I'm hiring somebody to come with me, that's considered my own private service.
Yeah,
But you're utilizing Disney's services when you use a DAS or you use Lightning Lane or
No,
you're
I'm saying
booking a
like outside
reservation
of.
or anything.
I'm saying outside of like the
Yeah.
use, because we can all agree that the use of DOS is pretty egregious. But it's like
That
if
is
you're just
egregious.
having somebody that's like coming with you.
maybe that's how they can get around this is they don't sell anything. It's just they sell they are travel nannies or vacation nannies. I will help you. I know my way around Florida, right? And that's all you.
I'll take the pictures.
I'll take the pictures, right?
That's
Exactly.
not allowed.
What?
I mean, technically, yeah, Janine's
Technically.
technically correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
they haven't really gotten.
Well, but I
I've s-
mean,
yeah.
but again, I'm just trying to do what Sarah did is parallel it to if I pay
Right.
someone who is not
Yeah.
a Disney expert, who is just a nanny, and I have her take my photos, she's not breaking the law because she's part of my family unit within the park,
Right.
Right.
Assisting in
I mean-
any way the family
assisting
would
any way
like.
the family wants to.
That's
So
how
is
I
there
see it.
so that's
Yeah.
that's why I'm wondering, is there a gray area there where they could sell themselves as not Disney experts and not
Right.
selling Disney product, just being vacation assistants?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because some people want
Ooh.
that.
I mean,
Yeah.
you could, but then how do you market that?
You market it
Vacation assistant.
Yeah, right. You'd literally be like, let me run ahead and I'll go to the store and get all the stuff for you. I'll make sure your bag is stocked full of whatever you need. If you
Yeah.
want, I can come with you to the park and I will carry stuff for you. Like you literally just make it like nanny services. And on this,
Yeah.
if they know Disney, that's great. But I don't know. I get why they're not doing it. I 100% get it. But not everybody can afford a plaid, and Disney needs to acknowledge that.
Well,
And-
That is very true.
the larger issue here is maybe make a park ecosystem that doesn't require,
doesn't require
the
it.
need.
That's-
There you
That's
go.
that's why.
What a
That's why.
concept.
Yeah.
What a concept. What do you mean I don't
have
have to
very
pay
smart
$250 an
friends.
hour?
I have very, very smart friends who work in software and work in UX UI, who work in logistics, who literally ask me, please take me to Disneyland. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Like,
It's
Yeah.
terrible.
it's
If I'm
terrible. If you're a
honest, I
first time
hate
visitor,
it.
if you're a first time
It's
visitor,
miserable.
Yeah.
it's miserable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm literally having to go next month with a friend because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. I literally hate when I get asked as a travel agent, what is Disney Genie Plus? I just send them a video.
Yeah.
People ask
Yeah.
me that all the time, and I'm like, I don't even know, man.
Like, I don't even know
I went-
myself.
I went with a first timer recently, and every time we would book a Genie Plus pass, I'd look at the time for the next one and set a timer on my phone to alert me 5 minutes before. He's like, "What are you
Wow.
doing?" I'm like, "You literally need to stay on top of it every single second in order to maximize that $30 you just paid." Because a lot of people just let it go. And when was the last time we
Mhm.
used a Genie Plus? 2 hours ago. Let's get another one. It's like, well, then
Yeah.
it's then you don't need it. Then you're not using it.
Yeah.
And to me, to Disney, that's a feature, not a bug. Like they've built that
Oh,
into it.
totally. It should be
Oh, for
complicated.
sure.
They want you to pay and not use it.
Yeah.
That's the hope.
That's the whole bit. Yeah.
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 That's
Yeah.
that's the same with Disney Plus as well. Like whatever.
Yeah.
Buy stuff but don't use it. We'd prefer it. It's less bandwidth. All right, moving on to another piece of news. Dave, we have new a new insight into what these DVC renderings of Fort Wilderness Resort look like.
Yeah.
Thoughts? What do these
Yeah.
look like, Dave?
If I saw these in any other place in the world, I'm like, that's okay. But the
Mhm.
fact that they're on Disney property, the rendering's like, what? It looks like an off-the-shelf tiny home. There's nothing unique
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
But I like it that it looks like a tiny.
I mean, like I said, I don't think it's bad. I think it looks really nice. And if I had seen that in a catalog for any other sort of, outdoorsy resort
Right.
as
If
an
this was
option,
an Airbnb, it would be the nicest Airbnb
Yes.
I could go to.
Yes.
Yes, that's a perfect way to
Yes.
describe it.
It's just
yeah.
not Disney. It's
just not Disney, and it's not, and
Yeah.
they stripped it of any character of it being Fort Wilderness too. Is my
Mhm.
issue.
I wouldn't say that's true. Like
Yeah, I wouldn't say that necessarily.
the bunk beds are really cute.
Okay,
But
I'm
again,
talking more from the outside.
I feel like it's cute, but I'm saying, and I agree with Dave here, like any mom could do this at home if she wanted to. Like that's not shade. Like I'm saying that
Yeah.
this is not very hard to achieve if you go to IKEA. So
Yeah,
that's my
the-
issue.
Yeah, the
I think that
the thematics in the living room is a poster and two pillows.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
like-
pluses are the bunk beds are very cute.
Yep.
They are. They are.
And the Chippendale above the main bed is kind of adorable. But again, it's like
Yeah.
I need like 20% more of that zhuzh, if you will. And
Yeah.
from the outside, they're just boring from the outside. They're
Mhm.
they're such an off-the-shelf tiny home from the outside.
Someone
There's
said
no
it looks
character-
like a double wide that's cut in half, like a single wide
Which
trailer.
totally-
It
which it kind of
does.
is actually.
Looks like a single
Well,
wide.
My
Yeah.
question is, why was this even necessary?
I think it was just really old.
Like,
and
well,
DVC
was
they
it
were
just
really
like
old.
due for a refurb? Like,
DVC needs to attract people, and it's cheaper to do this than to build another tower
Yeah.
because the con is on, and they need to continue.
but they're building another tower.
No, I know, but it's still not enough. They have to
Yeah.
keep plussing
Well, and Fort
things.
Wilderness was always, a weird little outlier where it was always cheaper, first of
Yep.
all. And it had the sort of outdoor activity stuff. I don't even know if any of that's still there. Like,
It's still camp.
Still there.
Camping.
Mhm.
is it still camping? Okay.
Yeah, there's RV.
Oh, yeah, it's
parking and
still-
stuff. Yeah,
I missed the tree
But I know
houses.
when it
Those
was
were
last time.
my favorite. The tree houses were the coolest.
yeah.
But
That was
and
really
like
cool.
that's a perfect example. Did you ever see the tree houses? Were they there or were they? Yeah, they were there,
Never
right?
saw them.
At Fort
There was
Wilderness or
pictures of them.
Saratoga?
Well, the tree. I mean, I think they were here.
Because there's
They were-
treehouse villas at Saratoga right
That's
now.
it. The tree. Yeah, Treehouse Villas. That's it.
Yeah, they're still there.
Saratoga.
Oh, they
Mhm.
are still there. Like those.
Yeah, they're-
To me are like, okay, now that is cool and something you don't find everywhere. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But I bet you the reason they can't do those now is because of accessibility, right?
Yeah.
that's true.
New
yeah.
construction, and they all have stairs, and I don't think any of them have elevators. So,
Oh, yeah.
No, I don't think so.
but they're so great. I stayed in
They're
one of those
still
once,
here.
and it was my favorite.
Yeah,
Well-
they're still there.
And here's
Yeah.
the thing. I know there's a price difference. Don't get me wrong. I get it. But they have the Copper Creek villas and cabins like at the
Yeah.
lodge, and they are way homier and
They are.
and way more rustic. Even if they are sort of that new kind of rustic look opposed to, but they have the high ceilings.
Yeah, they're really cool.
Yeah,
Those are,
they're nice.
They're really charming too. They look like little houses, little cabins out in the
Yeah.
woods.
I think the problem with these is the problem is a lot of like lodge-esque comfort comes in textiles that are not easy to clean.
Yeah.
Like,
I can see that.
like I look at this and I think this is a really easy place to clean up. And
Just from the outside though, if they had given it a little pointed roof, like a cabin, if they had done a
Yeah.
couple
Like
of things to the
yeah.
Like an
outside,
A-frame, something cool.
just something. And it's like, I get what they're trying to do and make them clean lined and more modern. I get it, because that's what a modern mom wants to pay money for. I get it. But there is the Copper Creek villas are the right middle ground. If you look
Right.
at those are gorgeous, and they're still contemporary, and they still seem like I'm getting a high quality product. And maybe this is all just cost. When you look at the vacation club ones, that it's just, these are an off the shelf box they can buy and reclad. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, even then, you could have the same stuff here. The color scheme is wrong. It's
Yeah.
just not the right color scheme.
It needs to be more darker greens, and
Mhm. Yeah, and I think what they're trying to do is they're lightening up the color scheme so it looks larger, because the moment you fill that with darker colors, it's going to feel as small as it actually is. So I don't know. It's not. I don't love it. Not happy about it. But
No.
then again,
Is any of us a DVC member?
no.
Right, I
We've
was
seen
gonna
this
say,
coming. We've seen this coming for.
No.
For like what, a
Us,
year?
y'all.
No.
It ain't for us. It
Yeah.
ain't for us.
It's not for us, but I think it does show what the other hotels are going to start looking like. I think that's what
Oh,
the
for
concern-
sure.
Yeah, probably.
Well, we've seen
Yeah.
that we've already seen that in some of the refurbs. It's all subtler stuff.
Yeah.
I don't
Like
hate
I will
some
say,
of it,
Pop
but-
Century doesn't look bad. Like Pop
No,
No.
Century, like it's
No.
like it's hit or miss depending on the hotel. I feel like.
Yeah. And that's tricky.
yeah.
Well, let's move on to hopefully more positive news over at Epcot. Janine, you had the opportunity, not only just you, but Dave as well.
Yay.
You got to go to World Celebration Gardens and Dreamers Point and that
Lucky
debut.
ducks.
Well, Dave, you got there in a weird sort of way. And then
Yeah.
and why don't you guys kind of explain what happened and
Yeah.
how this all occurred?
Yeah, so I was on a quick business trip, just a quick overnight to Orlando. There's a company there doing some media and media installation stuff for me for an attraction that we're developing, and it's so I went down there for a mock-up, and it was just a quick like I'm gonna check in on see this mocked up stuff and have dinner with the guy and then go home the next day, and it's my friend Joe Fox, who's awesome, and he's worked in the industry forever. I've known him for a long time. We're wrapping up our mock-up and about to go to dinner, and he said, "So what are you doing tonight?" I said, "No, after dinner, I'm just going back to the hotel to crash." He's like, "Well, I worked on because his other job, in addition to having this little company that does media systems and stuff for attractions and engineering and show control, is he also works on fireworks shows." And he's like, I worked on Luminous, and it's opening night tonight. If you want to go, we can watch from the Morocco dock." And I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" He's like, no, sure. I got extra tickets. I'll get you a pass. And so lo and behold, I luck into this is the Dave Cobb effect, as my friends like to call it. It just happens. And so I went and I texted the group here, and Shanine's like, "Oh my God, I'm going. We should meet up." So we did. And we hugged and we cried and we had a pretzel together. And then we took a fun picture in the gardens and got to see it. And while I was there, also the Dave Cobb effect, I ran into another friend who worked on it. My friend Jason, who was the lighting designer for the gardens. And
Oh
so
wow!
he was there doing final punch list and looking at stuff. So I got to chat with him about it as well.
He must be beside himself.
He is. I have not asked him about the next thing we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Which is stuff that's not working. But
Yeah.
to just,
Oh,
to-
I feel bad.
my takeaway, I don't know, jump in, Janine, but my takeaway is I think that anyone who thinks that the previous look of the center of this park is in any way, shape, or form better is completely deluding themselves, because it was concrete
Mhm.
and a bunch of canopies and pin trading. And before that, it was just concrete. Like, I get that you love that fountain, and yes, I do wish there was a water statement here, and maybe that center was meant to be that. Who knows? Regardless, it's still better. And as I said in my
I
tweets,
love to hate.
well,
What it is.
people are
That's what it is.
people are nostalgic for what Epcot was in 1982, and the future is not that anymore, and it's not going to be. And the future is about community, not concrete. And if people were trying to slam it, saying it looks like a city park, I'm like, actually, you're really
Yes.
you're
Point.
giving it a
Especially,
compliment as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
like if you look at some of the city parks that are being designed in current eras, they are incredible features. Like Bonnet Lake or Bonnet
Yeah.
Creek in Lakeland is
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
incredible. Like
Yeah.
it is a fantastic community anchor. And we're like, people want to complain that we don't have third spaces. And like, yes, you have to pay to go there, but it is like a third space where you can just
It is,
go and exist in that space.
Yeah, at
And
Epcot, for sure.
Epcot should be leading the way with that. And yes, you have to pay to get in. I understand that's a whole other discussion about classicism and gated environments.
Yeah.
That's fine.
But it's okay because it's an example of what can be, right? It's a
Yes,
show
right.
place. That's the
Yes.
idea. So
Yeah.
what they should be is they should always kind of feel, I mean, not really, but because you don't have the Tomorrowland effect, but Epcot should always feel like the community of 10 years from now, in design or vibe or element. And it hasn't been that for, I don't know,
For quite
30
a while.
years. So Yeah, I think you're right. I think this is the first time it's attempting to mirror the outside world in a unique way.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the daytime real quick, because I think I think nighttime is pretty much on lock as being good. It's really well themed. What I'm hearing criticism of is that at the daytime, a lot of it is sort of just, you know, a little bit of some trees and some plants, and the lighting is doing a lot of the heavy lifting for the wow factor, is what I'm hearing.
I think that is two things. I think it's seasonal. I think that anyone who thinks that it's cheaper to do planting than water is also delusional.
Sure.
Yeah, that's wild.
Because planting is the infrastructure for that is a lot more capital than water, a lot more. And Disney's botanical services and changing out stuff for season and changing colors and things, that's a lot of money and a lot of investment. So no, they didn't cheap out to put in plants. Now, did they cheap out by not putting in a central fountain issue, a central fountain element? Maybe, who knows? We'll never know why. I think that center sort of begs for it, but oh well. I think, but you're going to see color come back, I think, seasonally. The other thing is, it's seasonality in terms of program. The reason for that space will change, right? And it's going to change a lot. I mean, there's like 2 weeks where there's not a festival going on in Epcot anymore.
Yeah.
So, and we're not in the middle of one right now. We are, but the center wasn't open yet. Once they have full access to that center and they're doing Flower Garden and they're doing Food and Wine on all of that stuff, I think you're going to see a massive sea change in what that area looks like, because you're going to have temporary graphics, you're going to have temporary structures, you're going to have semi-permanent structures, you're going to have changes in flowers and gardening. I mean, I think you can't make that call yet. I agree.
You're
that it's
talking about how that Communicore Hall and Plaza are not open because they're delayed till 24.
No.
So that you're right. I think it's kind of, we're still, and this is kind of the case. I feel like we're always judging things about 75% done when it comes to Epcot the last several years.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like we're just judging things well, the community as a whole just judges things right off the bat without very little information. So
right.
But I think it's also because of the way that Disney announces things. Like a lot of the times it'll be like, oh, here's this thing that we finished, and it's like, well, clearly it's not done yet. So I think
also
that there's something to that.
And also the people that go every day that are holding this nostalgia for what Epcot was in 1982 and 83, you're not the main audience. People, I'm sorry.
Actually, with the nostalgia aspect, like people love, and I'm guilty of this, the retro aspect of Epcot.
Yeah.
Like Epcot is the retro park, but it was never meant to be.
No,
it was always supposed to be.
It's supposed to be the forward-looking park, and
Interventions was a Band-Aid. Right, like and even the little spinny wind things outside were a Band-Aid. The pin trading canopies were a Band-Aid.
That's true.
I'm hot take. Even the fiber optics in the pavement were a Band-Aid. Right?
Yeah.
They were like, how do we we need this capacity, we need these big walkways. How do we make them cool? Okay, fiber optics were cool, and everybody's bemoaning that the new one's not fiber optic. Well, fiber optics have been done, and now there have people who are criticizing it are having the last laugh because the lights seem to be already broken in the stuff in the ground.
So let's talk about that. Several of the lights inside of this new area in the span of what, 2 days?
Yeah.
I mean, on the first night, I noticed one segment that was not the color that I think it was supposed to be. Like it was white and everything around it was blue. And I was just like, I wonder if that's supposed to be like that. Well, and then the next day it was.
We know that they really pushed schedule on this. As much as all of this was late, it was also going to be more late. And they wanted it open by the time it was Walt's birthday. Wasn't that it?
Yeah.
So
Walt's birthday.
The crew was really slammed. Trust me on this one. That one I know for sure. So this is the kind of thing that happens in final ring out and punch list items. I'm not surprised that those things happen. People are blaming it on power washing. And I don't know this for a fact, but here's my assumption that yes, they designed it correctly for power washing because that's not the kind of fuck up they would make, to be honest. That's just the kind of thing. Operations is part of these discussions. Right. My assumption, and I don't know this for a fact, I haven't asked around friends, but if friends who worked on it are listening, let me know. I think because there's still construction going on in the area, that there were construction punch list items, which include power washing from the construction people after the park closed, which is not the same as the people who do it day to day for the park.
Oh.
And therefore, they probably broke protocol in terms of PSI or weren't supposed to be there, because often construction crews will be shooed away to get for opening day and then brought back in to finish their work. I have a feeling that's what happened. That would be my assumption.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that checks out.
And I don't hate that. I think that the idea that there aren't hiccups, even for little stuff like that, the moment you suddenly put 1,000 people in a place, you're going to see and have issues, and things will happen.
Yeah.
I think probably it would have just been wise to hold everything off till 2024 and open it all up with a Communicore Plaza and let punch lists get done and let things get figured out. And I, they would have figured that out, because they would have probably pressure washed it and there would have been issues or something. But yeah, I mean, this is kind of the catch-22. It's like, you want something done, but if operations does not give people enough time to actually complete it in a thoughtful manner, you're going to have stuff like this happen. And I don't think it's taken away. I think I think overall it's been a positive. I don't think that, besides the nitpickers and podcasts like us talking about it, no one gives a shit that a couple lights went out. Like, no one's talking about this. No. What they should be talking about, though, is Luminous. Apparently, you both saw Luminous. Janine, what'd you think of Luminous?
I absolutely loved it.
Okay.
Yeah, I really loved it, especially visually. Like, the music was mostly good. It wasn't my favorite music set. But visually, it is absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. There was a certain scene where it was just so beautiful that, like, fuck the music, just the visual alone made me well up. Like, it was, I live for this shit. I'm really into, like, bright lights and colors. It is one of my things. It ticked all of those boxes for me. It was just beautifully designed, beautifully executed. I thought that the fireworks were used really well, timed really well with the music. It wasn't overwhelmingly fireworky. There was lasers. I was happy that there was lasers.
There's no Epcot without lasers. Lasers are critical.
Pew, pew, pew.
Yeah, has to have lasers. I thought it was great. I teared up. We were standing in a crowd of people, and at one point a Frozen segment kicks in, and we heard the most manic screech from a person, I think a child maybe, nearby, just screaming Elsa, with like this guttural
Elsa.
Elsa! It was really exciting to, like, be in that environment and feel people's energy. It was I know that there are people who hate it.
Yeah.
And it's always going to be.
Sure.
I don't know how, because, like, just from the stills alone, it looks fantastic.
I think that the course corrections it made were the first thing to discuss, right? Like, I did not hate...
by the way, Dave, you're fully welcome to say what you want. With full knowledge, you have a friend who worked on it. So,
yeah, of course. Of course, I had friends who worked on Harmonious. So, like, there are things I loved about both shows. I did not hate Harmonious with the Fire of a Thousand Suns like some people did. I do think the problems with Harmonious were a dependency on the tech. I think that I know the tech that was provided to them, and that it was a tech forward show, that the tech was presented first. And because of that, I think the second big problem with Harmonious was viewing angles. There were like three places where that show made sense.
Yeah.
Right.
It was rough.
It was the big
It was
complaint.
it was
ruin
bad.
the sightline the whole day and only allow 30%.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it was a bad call overall. Now, the things I liked about Harmonious was I liked the orchestrations. I liked the music.
I liked the music.
It was beautiful.
I thought the music was really lovely. I thought it was a little heavy on, hey, here's that IP you love, let's play it. It didn't quite weave together into an Epcotian story as I would have liked, but I liked the content that was presented. I love the arrangements, and the media was fine. But again, to me, when you look at, like, the gold standard, when you look at the Millennium Show, the media in the globe is like the least important thing. It was so tiny anyway, and yes, you could do it bigger today, but it didn't really matter. The rest of the show is what mattered, and the score is what mattered. So I went into this one wondering what they were going to course correct. Was there going to be media? Were they going to try to salvage anything? And to my surprise, they didn't. And what they did was they created this giant wedding cake of fountains and lighting and lasers and fireworks in the middle that you can see perfectly from anywhere. And every angle around that lagoon gets a good view of the show, like the Millennium Show, right? There's some nods to the Millennium Show, like the beginning firework launch is really lovely, but which my friend who did the fireworks said they had to do differently because they can't do air launch fireworks anymore. So they had to do it very differently.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's why there's no fire barges in the middle anymore in the show, which I would have loved a nod to that too, but they sort of did their own version of it when that secondary thing opens up in the center. Anyway, long story short, I did really like it because to me it was a return to form of what works in that park. If you want to compare it to Harmonious, it is not the same show as Harmonious. And if you loved Harmonious, you might not like this. But my complaints about Harmonious had more to do with the idea of making crappy sightlines throughout the park for a show that really only 30% of the park could see the show well, right?
Yeah.
This was a massive course correction for that. And then on top of that, to me, and just my last comment on it is I think the music is amazing. I love Pinar Toprak, who did the score for that. She did the new Epcot overall theme in the gardens. She's an amazing composer. She did Captain Marvel. She did Fortnite. She did a ton of stuff. She's one of my favorite composers out there right now. And I think what she did with the IP in this show is really great. I called it a capital E Epcot story, right? It's a story about humanity. It's a story about how music is the heartbeat of our lives, and that different Disney songs, they don't say this outright, but what they play is different Disney themes and music represent the different milestones of our lives, including
Oh, wow.
And it's
That's beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's beautifully done.
It tackles grief.
It
tackles
tackles
the
grief.
topic du jour, really.
Yeah, it does, and because every show needs like a the dark the dark before the dawn moment, right? That's in the industry. You have to have that moment, and I think it handled it really well. If I have any complaints about the show, is I think it's actually a little short. It feels to me like a segment or two was cut, like
Well,
especially
how long is it officially?
I don't know. I forget.
Anyone know?
Off the top of my head, I'm not sure. This will take me about 5 seconds to figure out, I'm sure.
You want me to ask Siri?
And that may be just an emotional reaction. Like, I don't know if fundamentally it's any shorter than Harmonious or any of the other shows were. It felt to me like there were a couple of emotional beats that it skipped.
We were walking out of the park with some people Dave knows, and there was a woman walking with us who is a musician. And she talks about how each of the segments melodically or harmonically flowed from one to the next, except for two, where they had like a weird kind of discordant jump. And she was like, she agreed with Dave that it felt like there were one or two pieces that were kicked out for some reason because it
from I'm seeing on average about 17 to 18 minutes.
Yeah, and Harmonious was 20.
I was gonna say it's usually about 20, 22.
Yeah, it's a bit short. I don't know why, but I felt that too.
And Reflections of Earth was 12. So it's
Wow.
right. So this is like it's more of an emotional thing to me. Like I really liked it a lot and I cried and I got all the right feels. I got the right Epcot feels from it too. It wasn't just like even some of the themes, like they play the little theme from Frozen 2, but that's it. It's not the song. It's representative of a brief emotion in the arc of the story. And they did that a lot where it wasn't full songs. It was just the musical snippets that and the feelings they make you feel,
right?
And tying it to this humanistic story that Epcot represents. I thought it was a return to form. I know why people don't like it. I don't agree.
All I know is they could have played Crazy Frog for 20 minutes. As long as those taco barges are gone, I don't give a shit. That's great. Whatever. It's an upgrade no matter what.
Yeah.
Do we know what happened to them or like where they went?
They destroyed them.
They're destroyed?
No, they're at a farm.
Because tax write-off. They have to not use
they got to
assets.
write it off. Yep, that's exactly it.
Damn.
They're with They're with the original
They with the
Ellen's
ugly ass
They're with the
sorcerer
Ellen
hat.
dinosaurs and
The
the old
Illuminations
Hollywood.
globe.
Yeah, the universe, Hollywood Universal's old Botanicus. They're all hanging out at a farm. The old
The farm.
the old theme park farm.
Botanicus?
Yeah, Botanicus.
Isn't that E.T.?
Yeah, that's what I said. Universal Hollywood. They had to get rid of
Oh,
Botanicus.
Oh.
Okay.
Have you
I
not
didn't hear
seen? Have you
Hollywood.
not seen poor Botanicus? His wrinkled old ass. Just
Oh, I know
head down like
Botanicus.
this.
He looks like a mushroom, kind of.
Go to Tickley.
yeah, but his animatronic is out there looking real nasty. It's been left out of the sun.
Yeah.
It's not so great.
Yeah.
Oh no, I have not. I'm not familiar with
Yeah,
that. You're
yeah,
gonna have
yeah.
to send me a link.
Well, let's talk about we were talking about Universal Hollywood, but let's go to Disneyland real quick. Janine, we have some interesting. Hey, not got enough
Hi.
Star Wars in you? You got not enough Star Wars? Mommy's tummy need a little more Star Wars? Oh, I'm not full enough. Can we have some
Yeah.
more? Yum yum yum.
Yeah. They're somehow still all in on Ahsoka. Star Tours is debuting with some more adventures. So ride scenes are coming in. They're rumored to be Ahsoka. I think that's a choice.
Oh, I thought they
Um,
confirmed that.
I don't think I haven't seen it confirmed. It could be. I'm always the last to know everything. Yeah, that's happening. And then Hyperspace Mountain is coming back to Space Mountain there, which is fun. That's a good use of Space Mountain. I don't know why we never get it, but we never get it here.
The locals hate that version though.
Really?
I don't know if
like
it's
it.
like I hear like a lot of locals on Twitter all the time be like, that's the worst fucking version of Space Mountain. I don't know
Girl,
why
well, they're
I like
lying
it.
because
Really?
they'll be
Worse than
standing
the
in the
Halloween?
line.
I like it.
Oh,
I
Dave?
don't. I actually kind of like Ghost Galaxy, but
I like Ghost Galaxy.
Ghost Galaxy.
I don't know. I just think it's still odd to me when you have Galaxy's Edge next door that they would do this. But I
It's
get
so
it.
weird.
It's a separate product. It's Season of the Force. Okay,
It was here before.
It was here before, and the
Yeah.
locals allow it. Sure, it's okay. The best moment of that is when you face off with a Tie Fighter and it's shooting
Yeah.
at you, and you go whoop, and you dip underneath it. That's
Mhm.
that's worth
That's
the price
just
of admission
fun.
alone.
Like that. Like it.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah, the story doesn't really quite work with the land, but whatever. It's a
No,
fun
it's fine.
thing.
I
It's
mean,
temporary.
nothing in Disneyland Tomorrowland works, so it's fine.
No,
No,
no.
I
Tomorrowland
like
is the
it.
dog's
Cares?
breakfast.
Like, go ride around on the
It's-
freaking track with the car.
It's a dog's breakfast. Yeah.
I saw a tweet today that was like, "Oh, they need to cut out that whole area and like put a whole new land in there." And I was like, "If y'all get rid of the subs, I'm gonna like start a fucking riot." Like,
No, I'm for it.
Nobody better.
I don't want
No,
to get. I don't want to get
I
into
want the
this
lagoon.
large
Keep the-
conversation, but
Okay, you know what? We're not gonna do this because we're on a time crunch. But
we
let me
are.
just say this: I am
Poor
a lagoon
Dave's
girl
got to go to a
forever.
Christmas party, and
Yeah,
and,
my
and
bad.
Sarah's out here being like, gotta keep the subs.
She's gonna have to throw
You
hands.
gotta keep the
She's gonna like hold
subs.
my
You gotta keep
hold
the
my
subs.
weave.
Literally, hold
Close
it.
every time that I've been there.
Yeah, because it's a bad ride. Sorry, don't
Oh,
get me
Lord.
started. It's the
Here-
worst, lowest capacity bullshit ever. Why are we here?
Listen-
It's be gone. So anyway,
It sucks. It stinks. It's awful. But I love the lagoon, and I'm here
no,
for
I
it. so
agree. I
don't
love the
care.
look of the lagoon.
We're just gonna keep the lagoon.
Here's going back to Star Wars though, just for a second. Here's the thing that kind of was buried in that announcement that I think is actually really interesting, is
Mhm.
that the regular fireworks show, which is going to have its own soundtrack, the one what are they doing? Disneyland Forever now? No, whatever the current
Something. I don't know.
back in Galaxy's Edge, there's a separate score for it that is all Star Wars music. So they're like literally scoring the show differently back there, which I actually think is really smart. I think that's
Yeah.
a really
I think it's
great idea.
genius.
It's
Yeah,
different.
it's a genius
Such
idea.
a good because people already use that as like a hidden gem to go watch
Yeah.
the fireworks because there's
Yeah.
nobody back there. But now
Yeah,
I bet you locals are gonna be pissed because everyone's gonna go back there.
Yeah. Well, let's keep moving right along here. We're gonna go over to Universal. Technically, not Universal West Coast or East Coast, but I guess
So
far,
excited.
far East Coast, and then we'll come back to America. But Sarah, what is happening? What is the big news over at Universal Japan?
This is pretty exciting. So the Donkey Kong roller coaster, it's finally confirmed. It's opening in spring 2024 in the Super Nintendo World in Japan. And I know that this was like rumored for a while, but like now it's here. And the name of the coaster is going to be Minecart Madness. So
I love
pretty
Donkey
cool.
Kong Minecart Madness.
I just love how Universal is like, we ain't got shit for you until like it's here.
Yeah.
No, literally.
It's a
And I
churro cart. It's only a
appreciate
churro
it.
cart. Yeah.
Like the total opposite of Disney.
Yeah.
Disney's like,
Totally.
we might, maybe we will, maybe we will, and Universal's like, we're not talking.
They
until
literally, Universal literally builds a full monkey temple, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, we got our coaster."
yeah.
I did see that Epic Universe is getting this as well.
Uh-huh.
They are.
Yep.
They are. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
The ride system's really cool. The code
Yeah,
name
I'm
was,
so excited.
the code name was the Boom Coaster, as in boom arm, because like
Oh,
your
nice.
vehicle is above the track by the actual track by a couple of feet, and so the scenic track can have gaps in it, and you can make jumps and things.
Oh,
very-
so
it's-
that's how it works.
Yeah, it's super cute. It's basically a
clever.
cantilevered ride vehicle with a track down below it. It's very, very, very cute. I can't wait to ride it. The
Me too.
announcement video looks really, really great.
I am more excited about this coaster than I am about Mario Kart, and I know I haven't had Mario
Oh,
Kart. but
Fair.
This
No,
is-
that's
Oh,
really
yeah.
No, that's fair.
I'm more,
That's
way
fair.
more excited
Yeah.
for this.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Let's talk about the merch because they
The
got
merch.
merch. Ladies and gentlemen,
It's-
all I see is a headband with my sweet DK and Diddy hanging out in barrels, and I want it so bad on my head.
Can I just say I added extra money to my Universal Tokyo budget for this?
Yes, girl. You need to meet up with my friend Chris, who runs Tokyo Disney.
Oh, I've been
Explorer.
talking to him.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
he-
I've been talking to him.
Oh, good. You guys need to hang out. He's the best.
He's a delight.
I like that they have one of the things that they're doing is basically a Happy Meal of treats. It looks
Yeah.
basically like a Happy Meal. It's the same
It
kind of
looks like a
cardboard
Happy
vibe, and then it's full of like little cheese crisps and twirls and stuff.
So that
It's
is
fun.
a very specific thing in the Japan park. In that there is
Yes.
a lot of souvenirs in the Universal Japan parks and Disney for that matter, that are little tiny wrapped snacks and candies and crackers and things, because I forget what it's called. There's a Japanese word for it.
Omiyage.
Yeah, omiyage. Thank you. Yeah, it's basically gift giving, because you can't come back from a trip without giving your friends something or having a box of cookies that you bring to the office with you that everybody can enjoy. So it's low cost stuff that is either snacks or sometimes it's like Sanrio type stuff, like pencils and paper and things like that.
right.
And that's the lion's share of what they make their money on at merch in Japan are those things. So that there's always going to be some weird little snack to bring home.
That's so
That's
neat.
really interesting.
I brought
mean-
home butterbeer gummies from
I ain't gonna bring nobody
Japan.
nothing, but I'm a
Yeah,
No,
buy
it's
just-
not in
just
the
eat it
budget.
all.
It's not in the budget.
It's not in
Yeah.
it's in my personal budget.
It's in
but-
yours. Yeah. You have a good time. Forget about everybody else.
Gang, we got to move back to America though for more
Yeah.
Universal news, because gang, the stars at night are big and bright, deep in the heart of Universal Frisco, Texas Park. Okay, so Frisco, Texas, they've been working on something there. Sarah, we got a name. We got a name for this
Yeah.
park.
So it's gonna be called the Universal Kids Resort. That's so creative.
Oh,
So-
you got Dave's over
I'm
here with a
blown
womp womp. I'm
It is
interested
a
in
womp
this.
Well, okay. First of all, it's boring. We know this, but there's a reason for it.
Yeah.
It's synergistic to a channel that we don't know because we don't have kids. So Universal has
There
a
you go.
channel called Universal Kids, and it used to be PBS Sprout, and they bought it
Oh,
back
I
in like
didn't-
2011 or
I
so.
didn't know it used to be
Yeah.
Sprout.
And then they
That makes me
rebranded
so
it to
sad. I
loved
Sprout, and then in
Sprout.
2017 they rebranded it as Universal Kids.
Hmm.
What's funny is it lost tons of viewership after the rebrand. It's been a constant downward spiral since they rebranded
not
in
a fan.
They've
2017.
been struggling.
Been struggling, and so now it's basically the DreamWorks network. It's all DreamWorks shows. So I get that why they're doing it from a corporate synergy standpoint. It's just kind of boring sounding. I
I
wish
mean, from an SEO standpoint, it makes
That's
sense
what
too.
I was thinking.
I was thinking,
Right.
SEO.
right. It'll make it very easy to find. I get it.
Well, and I think this is very important. I think because unlike Legoland, which has from day one been like park for babies, it's a sweet little park for babies. Come to our little park. Universal has a reputation, literally, of being the teenager skateboarding and being like, "Rad, dude, we're not Disney." And I think that
Poochie.
Yeah, it's all they Poochied it, and so I feel like they kind of had to be really on the nose of like, this is not this no Velocicoaster here. This is
But
kid stuff.
then you put the Krusty Krab there as if my 30-year-old ass ain't gonna go down to Texas
No,
to go
for real.
visit Krusty
Oh,
Krab.
we're the demographics that's going to show up to this anyway. I had no interest in going to Texas. Now I have slight interest in going to Texas. Like,
Frisco, Texas.
I was going to go anyway.
I didn't even know that
What's
was a
sad is
place.
I had a reason to go before, and I still didn't go. Like, no,
Yeah.
Well,
Can I
it's
talk about this
cool.
concept art really quick?
Sure.
Yeah.
What is this giant water feature with like what looks like a river rapid boat floating around on it? What
is
could
that not? Is that not? I think Alicia Stella put like a possibility for each land in it.
Yeah.
I think.
I
think
do
It looks like
remember
something's
this.
riverboats.
Something's like Jurassic, something SpongeBob, something Gabby's Dollhouse.
Yeah,
like
Camp
something
Camp
else.
Cretaceous is in the back.
Yeah.
From
Yeah.
That's all I
Jurassic
care
Park.
about.
Yeah,
There's
same.
obviously trolls in the
Trolls. I was
right.
like,
That's
Have
gotta
y'all
be
seen
yeah.
that movie? It's actually not that bad. It's pretty
Yeah.
good.
World
keep hearing
Tour?
that.
Yeah,
The-
it's good.
The
It's
newest
good.
one, yeah.
It's
really
good.
keep
I like the
hearing
last
this.
one too.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I mean, if they're gonna have trolls, it's gonna be a good hit. So good for them.
Yeah, you know.
Speaking of trolls, we got 9,000 women trolling Disney real hard because they need paid. Is that a good use of trolls? Feels like there's a negative connotation to that, but no, they're not being negative. This is good. This is good trolling.
It's
Victoria.
Disney being a troll for not doing this ahead of time.
Yeah, Disney's being a troll
Yeah,
for that's
Disney's
a better
the troll.
transition.
Yeah.
They're the trolls. They're the trolls holding all the monies back. Victoria, what's going on? How many women are suing Disney for pay disparity?
9,000.
9K.
Goddamn.
9,000 women. So a judge on Friday, not this Friday, but a judge on some Friday.
Judge on a Friday.
On a Friday.
Welcome to vague news. We give you the news, but it's kind of vague. This is your vague news. On some Friday.
It was on a day
On a random
that happened to end
day.
in Y.
Yeah.
It ended in Y. But
Yeah.
a judge allowed a class action lawsuit that alleged, because we ain't trying to get sued, that Disney paid 9,000 women less than their male counterparts. So this, just to be clear, is the largest ever certified under California's Equal Pay Act, which makes it illegal for workers to be paid less based on their gender. And Disney was very disappointed in the court's ruling.
Disney out here being like, tisk, tisk, tisk.
Well, they're saying that the women were being paid like what was it, 2% less?
Yeah.
Yeah,
across
just
the board.
about.
So about 2%. That's a lot.
It
Right?
really is. It really
because
is.
if a raise, like a raise is usually like between 3 to 5%. So like you're kind of missing out on like all that.
Oh,
Yeah.
and the conference is going to happen in February with a
The
trial supposed to be.
judge was Disney was complaining about how complex the defense was going to be, and the judge was like, "Oh, I know it's going to be terrible. You're telling me Disney has no system of categorizing pay grade levels? Like,
I mean,
Disney was like, "Oh, how could we?
Yeah.
Pay grades are pay grades. How do you not have this situated to avoid this?"
Yeah. Pretty easy.
I mean,
Pretty easy, Disney. Pay up. Pay up.
Yep.
We're gonna keep moving here because we gotta get Dave out of here. He's busy. He's a busy man. So we are going to go over to, I think, some very interesting news, and my Regal Unlimited ass will be there.
you will be seated.
I will be seated. What's showing up in my movie theaters in 2024, Victoria?
We got 3 Pixar films: Soul, Luca, and Turning Red. These were, just to clarify, they originally only came straight to streaming. Like they just came out straight to streaming. They never went to the box office, but now they're gonna come out starting in 2020. Well, January 2nd, 2024, starting with Soul, and then it's gonna have like a Pixar short behind it. Then Turning Red's gonna happen in February with another short, and then Luca is gonna come out. Well, which I think is an interesting move.
Yeah. Turning Red actually did have a very small theatrical release. I think like
That's
New York.
no, you're
You're
right, it
California.
did.
I
I
actually
think it was
saw
an
it. I saw
awards.
at
It was
the
an awards run.
awards thing. Yeah, I saw it at the
Yeah.
El Capitan in the theater. So I'm can't wait to see it again. Like all three of those movies deserve a lot more.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Deserve their flowers.
I
Absolutely.
loved Luca.
Me too.
Love
Me
it.
too.
was like
Soul.
amazing. Soul
Like
was
Soul
amazing.
got the bottom of the
True,
barrel.
true story.
man.
I still haven't seen Soul.
Oh, it's
You
great.
need
I know.
to.
It's fun. The cat.
Well, now
alone.
I'm waiting.
What happened to
I
the cat?
remember watching it on New Year's Eve, and I was first of all I was high, but I was watching it on New Year's Eve,
Atta
and
girl.
I was literally sobbing, like I was
Yeah.
tears. I was sobbing for the rest of the night. I didn't even know it was New Year's Day the next day. So
It was
Oh.
crazy. I
amazing.
distinctly remember watching. I only put that on because I turned off that new Wonder Woman movie, that 1984.
That
I
would
was
do
like,
it.
this is
Good for
bullshit.
you.
And then I saw
Yeah.
it so.
I watched that whole piece of crap.
yeah, no.
I'm sorry.
That weird
Yeah.
that what Wonder Woman 84, which is what I call a lost Twilight Zone episode with Pedro Pascal, because it's basically
It's so
No, what
cute.
the
I've
fuck?
never finished it.
Nothing to do with
I
Wonder
still
Woman.
have not finished it.
of these three. Which one would be the best to be high for? I think Luca would give me all the vibes.
Really?
I mean,
Really?
I
I would
but
say
I
Turning
like-
Red.
I was gonna say, yeah, I was gonna say
Oh.
Turning Red.
Really? I was gonna say Soul. Only
Yeah,
because
but I
I
don't-
can see why you would say Soul.
I don't want to feel.
Yeah.
I want to just vibe, and it's
You
because
because
of
vibe?
the Great
Okay.
Beyond or whatever.
I don't want to get
Luca.
existential.
Luca's
Right.
the vibey. Luca's real vibey.
Luca's
Yeah.
vibey.
I got so many teenage gay feels from Luca. Like that.
Oh, yeah.
That just so much of that movie was like, oh my god. If
Yeah.
I'd seen
Yeah.
that movie at like 14.
Yeah,
I felt like Luca was a gay movie.
It
it
was.
is.
Oh,
Not-
it is.
was.
Beautifully,
It's not even
without
coded.
hitting you over the head with it. Like it
It's
was
not even
just
coded. Yeah.
nice.
It was definitely like they were pretty much not even fucking hiding it.
Speaking of
like,
something else that's gay as hell, that I love very much. Just to be very clear,
Okay.
Disney Plus is now, of course, the official home of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, y'all, Doctor Who's been gay as hell, like since
For a
John
while.
Pertwee walked around in a cape. So
forever.
just
I need to watch.
Yeah.
He is neither male nor female for those of
Nope.
you out there.
so anyway, it's a great excuse for me to get to talk about Doctor Who, which is my favorite sci-fi show of all time. The 3 David Tennant episodes have aired, and we will have the first Ncuti Gatwa episode coming out in Christmas
He's hot,
Day.
y'all.
It's very hot, man.
He's super hot,
It's
y'all.
very, very hot, man.
Wait, let me go see. Hold on.
You don't know
Wait,
about-
we're talking about
girl.
hot. Hold
Girl,
on.
Oh,
girl, the doctor's
the
never
new
been
doc-
hotter.
the doctor got
I
hotter. I
recall
love when she's like, "Do you
seeing
come in a
him.
variety of colors?"
Yeah.
it is the 3 specials that lead up to his reveal are fun and sweet and lots
God
of fan
damn.
service. Yeah.
He's
Right?
handsome. He's
Oh,
handsome.
Oh, yeah.
Let me start watching. Hold on, let me get this Disney
Yeah.
Plus subscription. Oh, no way.
Girl, I'll get
give
you
you
that.
my
pi-
login, girl.
I'll get
I'll give
you
you my
those
login.
episodes.
Give me
Don't
the
you worry.
login, y'all.
Don't you
Give me
worry.
the
I
login.
I know it. I know Jack Sparrow. I'll get you them.
Go
I'll get you
ahead.
them
Go
episodes.
ahead. Go ahead. Send it my way. Send it my way.
I'll get
I
you
need
on my
something to watch.
Plex.
Please.
But the first 3 are super queer,
Mhm.
both in story and tone and lots of things. And you have a queer actor playing the main villain of the 3rd chapter.
Mhm, mhm.
It's great.
Yeah,
I mean,
Russell T Davies,
it's right on brand for Doctor Who in that it's very weird and partially silly and lots of made up technology words that make no sense to patch the script holes.
Yes.
But that's Doctor Who, right? That's
Doctor Who has had, just for those who kind of don't know what's going on in that sense, Russell T Davies, who's running the show again, first did it when it came back in 2000s. And then he left, and Stephen Moffat, who people know from showrunning Sherlock, he ran it. And it was a little more timey-wimey. It was very fun, but a lot more complex. And then Chris Chibnall wrote it, or did it, and it was not so good. And then Russell T Davies is coming back. The thing about Russell T Davies, which I think is very important to Doctor Who, is he understands the essence of camp for the show. The show, since the Horns of Nimon, where we have large aliens with big ox heads, but they're trying to make them look tall, so they're in like platform heels. Like, this show has always been camp forever and ever and ever.
1000%.
Yeah. And so he brings that essence back, and it's no better time that I can think of to get involved. The kind of continuity slate has been wiped clean. The doctor has gotten to go to therapy, literally. And he is sort of a turned to cloth. So, it's a great place to start because you can kind of get into it with a fresh doctor and a fresh vibe, and it's good.
Yep.
So,
Totally.
yeah. So if you want to watch those first 3 episodes, I would recommend them. They're good. David Tennant's incredible. He's my doctor. He's the one I started with. But is a transition I'm very excited about, and it's well worth watching. Okay, we're going to keep moving on here. We got segments, y'all. This is what I'm a little worried about because we got so much to talk about. I want to begin with a segment, but first I want to talk a little news about this segment, and then we're going to go on to it. So some material has been released about one of the members of DeSantis's Disney board. And she is, I'm trying to remember her name, Bridget Ziegler, who is also known for being a co-founder of Moms for Liberty, a fascist organization that is trying to steal books from kids. And due to the fact that her husband has been accused of rape, some facts have come to light. Now, we are going to talk about those facts, but I wanted to be very clear up front. We are not suggesting these rape allegations should be taken lightly. We are not suggesting that it shouldn't be taken seriously. So that is something that is on the table, and we affirm the accuser, and we hope for the best there. Now, this leads to, of course, the fact that because of certain allegations, things have been brought to light, and Rachel Ziegler has had to tell Bridget Ziegler. Rachel Ziegler. I don't know who that is. Bridget Ziegler.
Wait,
Snow White.
Yeah.
You're trying to accuse Snow White of things.
No, you're good. No, not involved. I love you, Rachel Ziegler. That's Zed Zasso. We if you know Zed Zasso, be my best friend because you'll know that reference. Anyway. So Bridget Ziegler, this Moms for Liberty Central Florida Tourism Board member, had to kind of tell facts to what was going on to the police. And so she has admitted that, yes, she has had threesomes with her husband and this person who is this woman who's accusing, which means that Moms for Liberty, gays are going to destroy everybody, don't say gay, has been going around having some lesbian threesomes.
And to be clear,
So that brings us to Sploosh Mountain. Our
to be
segment.
clear,
Yeah.
we stand polyamory. Polyamory,
Of course,
fine.
no
open
no
relationships.
shaming.
No shame in that.
No
Oh,
shame in
open relationships. Part of one myself. We're all okay with this, right? We're adults.
Mhm.
It's not okay when you're hypocritical about it, and it's not okay when you use your faith as a wedge against other people, and you're doing this behind your faith and not being honest about it.
Yeah.
Period.
The thing that makes me the most mad is that these conservative Republicans are having freakier and weirder sex than me. And I don't
literally.
like it. And it's not fair.
It's not fair. No,
it's not fair. But I also understand that because you're not supposed to be doing it, that's probably why it's freakier.
Mm-hmm.
Catch 22.
It is.
I guess I'm going to have to be a
Monkey,
conservative
yeah.
to enjoy it. But
I just think it's funny because a lot of people that are kind of like on that side of politics, they tend to not think that threesomes are, like in the article they were
That
saying.
woman
oh,
100% thinks she's straight.
No, that's what I'm saying. And it's like
Yeah.
the article was saying perhaps Ziegler forgot or was unaware that the B in LGBTQ plus stands for bisexual. Like, girl, come on.
Like, I can't read this sign.
And the accuser literally said, I'm here for your wife. Like, dude, like, I don't know. Let's be
Yeah.
for real.
yeah, it's one of those things where you see it and you're sort of like, hurt people.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah.
man, I kind of want her to, I don't know.
Well, Janine, that you're
Get help.
kind of right in that there is that gray area for people who swing but don't consider themselves bisexual, which
Yeah.
to me is like they really,
Because
really
it's an experiment,
that-
quote,
no,
quote.
not even that. Not even there are people who are swingers who are just like, it's okay. I can watch another woman screw my husband, but I'm
Right.
not interested in her. That there's a mental thing there where it's like these people really just need to read up on the Kinsey scale, because if they
Yeah.
did, they would be a lot more fluid in their thinking and realize that the fact that they are open to more than one partner in their bed makes them not straight, right?
And I mean, apparently this woman was like, actually, this was not just her watching.
Yeah, no, she was
Okay.
participating.
She was.
Yeah.
So,
She
so
was
she's
involved.
bi.
She was in it. Yeah.
So she's
but
bi.
she,
Okay,
but
she's
she
bi.
doesn't,
Great.
but she doesn't think she
I'm sure
is.
she would be the first to tell you
Yeah.
that she's straight.
Ugh.
I think
That's why I was saying it's like to them they kind of see it as like, oh, this is just like a it's
They
it's an
see it-
experiment or like
They
it's
see
a,
it like a salad bar. So now and then you get a little tapioca pudding inside
Yeah.
of your ranch dressing. You didn't
Exactly.
mean it, but it's sort of slopped over, and like, it's just part of what happens when you're, at the buffet. But that's not what.
or it's like, oh,
and-
we're
and
just
that's-
spicing things up, but it's
Yeah,
like no,
and that's
like come
rooted
on.
that's rooted in homophobia.
It is,
right, because you have
Mhm.
straight guys who are fine with threesomes as long as it's two women, but
Exactly.
put another guy in and they all get icked out, and it's like you're seeing that change with the younger generation.
Yeah.
I mean, younger friends who are like polyamorous or like whatever. But they realize there's this gray area of like, maybe I'm not going to absolutely touch another penis in here, but if it happens, I'm not going to be creeped out by it. So I'm not going
Right.
to call myself straight because of that. Right. So yeah, these people are hypocrites and need to be dragged. We need to drag them to the center square and put them on a pedestal and drag them for the bullshit that they spout.
It's kind of funny because 20 years ago, it was whenever someone was like really homophobic, it was always like, oh, they're in the closet.
Yeah.
And then people were like, stop doing that. Like, it's not, they're not homophobic because they're in the closet.
Exactly.
And then they always seem to be in the closet.
Yeah, but now they are. Right. Yeah.
Dave, I will have to say, you said drag them to center square, and I immediately thought of Hollywood Squares. And I was like, well, what's Paul Lynde going to do about it?
Oh. I learned how to
Honey,
be
come
gay.
over here.
I learned how to be gay from Paul Lynde.
I mean, I'm straight, and I learned how to be gay from Paul Lynde.
Yeah, Match Game too. I mean,
Oh.
those two shows
Oh,
completely told me that's the kind of adult I wanted to be when I grew up. was
Sorry, ladies. This is old guy talk.
Old guy
Sorry.
stuff.
I was gonna say, huh? What is happening?
Go look up
Huh?
clips for Match Game, which is an old
All right. Match
the Snatch Game on RuPaul's Drag Race is based on Match Game.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's an
okay,
old-
okay.
It's an actual old
Yeah.
game show. But then the other one is the Hollywood Squares. The guy in the center square was Paul Lynde, who was famously gay
Yeah.
and always had the most incredible bon mots and quips to throw back at during the show. And it's there's those game shows were great because they would film a whole week in one day, and so the Friday episodes were always the most loony because they were getting drunk backstage and they were drinking in between shows.
Yeah.
So you learn this later as an adult, but the Thursday and Friday shows were always the best.
Yeah.
Mm.
100%. 100%. Oh,
There was apparently a reboot with Alec Baldwin in
Yes,
2016.
yes.
there was. Yes. No, go to the original.
Okay.
Go to the original.
Yeah, you gotta get Paul Lynde. I
Oh.
played the father in Bye Bye Birdie, and it was very hard for me not to just do a Paul Lynde the whole time. Your crush would Bewitched too. He's on Bewitched. He's Uncle Arthur on Bewitched. Oh, Dave, save
right,
me a room
moving
at the
on.
nursing home. Okay,
Yeah.
so anyway, let's move on. We have got segments. I'm gonna get you out of here, Dave. I swear. But we got so much good
we're
news.
good. We got 50 minutes. We're good.
We're good. We're good. We're gonna go right now to Beware Our Guest. Y'all, when I say that this is the perfect end of Beware Our Guest for the season, because these are two wild.
So opposite too.
Yeah. So yes. Yeah, So let's get into this. The first one is there is a Disneyland guest who the video begins, and it is a lady who is asking a woman what she said. And this woman, I don't know how to explain her. She's a white woman. She seems to be waiting for her, she seems to be waiting for her mother in the restroom. So she's just kind of there. And it seemed like the other woman was speaking to her infant or her toddler or something while they were changing table or something. And apparently this woman told this other woman to speak English because she was speaking Spanish to her child. And the woman, she said, you know, how can you do this? How can you say this? That kind of stuff. And she said, yeah, because it's America. It's America. You don't speak Spanish in America, an English-speaking country. First of all, we do not have a national language, just to be clear.
We don't.
Second of all, like all these women, or not just women, any racist does, is they backpedal a little bit, then they pedal up a little bit, and then they finally just go full 11, and then they act like they do it in a mocking voice, as if like, oh, I'm for sure, I'll just say the bias you think. So she then said, fine, I don't care, I hate Mexicans, it's true, there it is. First of all, that sounds like, don't take that out and make it your ringtone, people. Just that was a quote. Yeah, so this lady just kind of flips out on this lady who's just speaking Spanish in a restroom like, I saw this video and I immediately thought, oh, this shit is Central Florida if I've ever seen it. And then it's Anaheim.
Oh,
Like,
this shit
That
happens
is
all
the
the
most
time.
mind-blowing part of this for me.
But
Yeah.
you know what? It's
No, that's not
regular.
the mind blowing
This-
part for me. They done
It's-
found out where this woman lives.
Oh, tell me more. Tell me more. Tell me more.
Oh, I have tea. So So it
Go
popped-
ahead, spill.
it popped up on my feed literally yesterday. They found where this woman lives, went to her house, and then protested. The woman never came out. She called the cops on them, and then
Ooh.
someone got arrested.
Ooh.
Wild.
And it's not like they were trying to break in or anything. They were just protesting.
Wild.
I mean,
Where does she live, though?
damn. She lives in
She-
Anaheim or what?
She's not in Anaheim. No, it was like what the fuck was it? It wasn't
Riverside, I think. She's in the 909.
Like, yeah, it was like
Which
somewhere.
clocks?
It wasn't
Sarah
really.
knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay, so- but she's
It
from
was in that
California.
area. She's from California.
Riverside is a
yes.
whole different. I
But,
don't
but
know.
there's a
y'all.
lot of California that's like red as fuck.
Yeah.
Red,
yeah.
very 909.
I looked
being
it up.
one of them.
Her area
Yeah.
was when I looked it up. It was very red. So
I mean, yeah.
Oh, she has snake bites and a
Like I
terrible
I don't
haircut.
I don't necessarily condone doxing people. I think that's really uncool and shitty
Yeah.
and a
Yeah.
terrible
I
part.
agree. That's why I was
terrible
like,
part
how
of-
the hell did you find them?
A terrible part of internet culture. At the same token, like she needs to be held accountable for the things she said, which were horrible. And
Yeah.
you know,
Mhm.
Well,
That's
here's
what
the
it is.
thing.
It's like we have free speech, but you're gonna get your shit rocked if you say the wrong
free
thing.
Yeah.
speech
Like,
doesn't right.
go
Free
ahead.
speech doesn't mean no consequences from what
Yeah.
you said.
That's kind
Exactly.
of where I land, Dave, is like we've reached a
Pretty
point now in
much.
society where this stuff used to be able to be said and nothing could be done.
Yeah.
And I think we probably went a little crazy on like,
Yeah.
all right, we're going to ruin your life.
Yeah.
Just a
But-
tad.
But that is, I think the stemming of all sorts of stuff, whether it's racism or anti-Semitism or homophobia or any of it, I think we're seeing such a strong backlash to this stuff kind of waving out into the realm because the majority of this minority feel like, oh, I literally can lose my job now for doing this
Yeah.
kind of stuff. And that's
Yeah.
never happened in the history of America. You used to go, pardon me, but you used to be able to go lynch a guy and then just go to work the next day. So,
literally have a whole
Would you?
picnic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very
so
true.
like this is a complete reversal in these people's fortunes. And as much as I don't want anyone to get hurt or make
Yeah.
anyone unsafe, even people I completely disagree with, yeah, I mean, you can't say shit like this anymore and get away with it. Like
Well,
it's
and
not
people-
possible.
And people with no emotional intelligence say it's just canceling, right? It's cancel culture.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
you're being a terrible person, and we're trying to tell you that there's a way out of this. People,
Yeah.
you could think about it. You can think about what you did. You could apologize. You know what? Nobody wants to do that because this goes back to the plot of Doctor Who. Everybody thinks they're fucking right,
Yeah.
and
There you go.
and
Everyone thinks they're the exception to the rule.
But-
yeah, and it's all it would take is for her to have a nanosecond of self-reflection of the state she lives in, for crying out loud. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
The fucking park she was in, like you were in
But- right.
SoCal, my dude.
does she complain
Like-
every time the monorail says "Tienen necesitamos, por favor"? Does she flip out every time she hears a Spanish announcement on one of the rides? Because
Yeah.
damn, Like,
Yeah.
oh god.
I mean,
I
she's
feel like
clearly the
there's-
type of person who's pissed at pressing 1 for Spanish. But go ahead,
Yeah.
Sarah.
No, I was gonna say that there was an inciting incident. Like this lady didn't just kind of like come out of fucking nowhere and start saying this shit. Like when it seems like that was her mom who was going into a regular stall. They were talking about the other person, Miss Ramirez. Like she was using the accessibility stall. So that was the original issue, and it seemed like it kind of just blew up out of for no reason. And then that girl, the white woman, she took it like where it didn't even need to go.
Right.
And I feel like
Yeah.
that's where it was just kind of like it just did it never needs to go there. And I think that it's like
Yeah.
she knew what she was saying. She knew that it would take her not get her canceled because she's not really someone that could even get canceled. Like no shade to her, but like I'm saying it just never needed to go there. And she like
Yeah.
the things that
It
she was
did.
saying, it just seemed like it was very hyperbolic and just like I don't even know if she I don't know. It just
I wonder if this woman
I don't know if that makes
has
sense.
like mental health issues to where
don't-
she gets upset. She's mad that her mom had to wait or that
Yeah.
couldn't use the handicap stall, and she has no emotional regulation. She just goes to like, how do I hurt someone?
that was my logic because to me I wanted to like make it seem like that's what it sounded like to me. That's what the situation felt like.
The
Because it just-
disability stall is 100% my Curb Your Enthusiasm episode. I am terrified that I'm going to like when they're all being using one and then walking out and there's someone
Yeah.
with a disability that
You know
needs it.
what? Don't though, because like
No, I
at
know.
some point we all have to wait for a bathroom. Like
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
you have
not
to
necessarily
wait
a
2
problem.
minutes to use the bathroom. Oh no! Like
And it's like I
This-
went in and cut in front of you. I didn't know you
Yeah,
were
I know.
Like, I
Right.
waited like
They're
everybody
available.
else.
'Cause if,
Yeah.
if
Exactly.
someone just keeps that open, that means everyone else in the world waits longer to use the bathroom. That's perfectly good. And the off chance that someone, it's just
Yes.
I just think to have an outburst like that, I don't think that there's any sense of normalcy there. That's the point that I was just trying to get across.
yeah,
sure,
No,
sure.
Especially in
that.
today's day and age in California, like girl, come on now. Like let's
Yeah.
be serious.
for sure.
Let's
Yeah.
go to the next one. I love this
I
one.
do have updates on the next one, by the way.
Oh, I love this one so
Oh.
much. Okay.
This
So,
one's- oof.
there's a video of if you know Epcot Soarin', one of the things that's weird about it is when you're walking to get to the end of the line, it's a very wide walkway.
It is.
And you can find yourself feeling like you're at an airport in the sense that you kind of want to pass people because sometimes people are slower or they're talking to their kid or whatever. And generally it's not an issue, right? Because everyone's kind of getting to the same place. It's not a big deal. It seems like there was a group of, I would call them teens, but they all seem to have been in their mid-20s. Everyone's
in their 20s except one girl who's 17.
Okay, they're all a bunch of jabronis. And these
Hanging out with a
jabronis...
17-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, these jabronis just bolted through the whole line, just past everybody. And it seems like people took issue. So Theme Park Vibes took a video of these people and kind of said like, what the heck are you doing? And the group immediately starts cussing them out, yelling at them, throwing the F word, not the one we like, the
whole slur. Yeah.
And there's one guy at the front, and he has decided that he is the ringleader, and so he's going to talk to this guy, and he keeps saying his name's KJ Braithwaite, and I will just say his name, put him in the universe because this man says basically I'm better than you. I played
Google
football
me.
at University of Central
He
Florida.
straight up said, Google me.
He
Google
said,
me.
Google me. Google me, this asshole said.
He said, I'm 21 and I make more money than you do. Google me.
Yeah. And then his
Yeah.
friends start trying to get at these people again. He says, no. We're done. We're not going to talk to these people anymore. Attention is money. I'm not going to do it. And then he immediately continues running his mouth. This fool thought that he would get away with this. The first update is that TikTok said, all right, we're going to ruin his ass. And it does not take long to figure out if someone is actually on the football team of the University of Central Florida, to the point where the University of Central Florida themselves had to go on social media and be like, we do not know her. Like, this is not is not a person we have any relation with. So that occurred, and then he eventually, of course, feeling the heat, went on TikTok and tried his best to create. He pulled up an apology video vibe by grabbing his cute dog and being like, I'm just going to tell you all, like,
the excuse was wild.
And he said, you know, like, he doesn't talk about the fact that he completely lied about being a football player. In fact, he doesn't play football. He doesn't go to the university, and everyone found his criminal record. So, like, it was not a good day for him. And he's like, well, I can just tell you that the other people, we got so mad because they threw the N-word around at me, and we heard him say it. And
Did
first
somebody?
of all,
No, I confirmed with several people, including someone who was actually behind them in line. There was no racial slurs from them people.
no. So this is a very unique circumstance where our first story has literal racial connotations, and then Victoria and I were talking about this earlier, like on our text thread. Like, this is that weird opposite where you have someone who's accusing others of it, but in the video, of course, if he was called the N-word, he sure doesn't act like it.
Exactly.
But then you're lying so much. We don't even believe you.
I'm just trying to understand, how does somebody call you the N-word and then you retort back by like saying the F slur? Like, how does that, like,
well, my thing is, how do you call the N-word in that busy ass line and no one addressed?
No one heard.
Well, and the F slur came from one of the ladies he was with. White women be wild, and y'all don't.
17-year-old.
Literally wild.
Yeah.
She was doing so much.
But anyway, this guy got he told the world to Google him, and the world said okay.
He is now on the Daily Mail. He popped up on my Twitter before we got on.
He's on the Daily Mail?
He popped up before we got on. I saw a Daily Mail article about him.
He's literally giving mixed kid raised by a white mom energy. Like, it is a complete mess. That's just what it is.
I cannot say.
I'm sorry, but that's what he is.
Is that a thing?
That is a thing.
That is a thing.
If you are a mixed child and your mom is the white one, you know that they're just gonna have a different type of energy. That's just facts.
You just know.
Just facts.
I am snatched. Snatched.
That's a thing. It's a thing.
That's a thing.
Wow.
Because they say that culture is usually carried through the matriarch. So mothers who are black, like, they do the parenting. So
there they go.
Yeah.
And the white women are gonna white women. Sorry. Like,
wow.
That's a
complete
thing.
Karen behavior. I'm just saying, like, the fact that, like, his behavior mirrored with the other woman that we were just talking about, pretty similar.
Wow.
That's all.
Wild.
Yep.
Yeah.
So anyway, that of course is our Beware Our Guest. We are going to move on to, he's got a little Santa hat on. He's a real cutie right now. And that's a Studer Computer, our little haikuter of the week. Here he is. Hiya, Studer.
That's why I'm a router for the computer. Everybody needs a friend.
Okay, it's so good to have you, a Studer, with you're just looking so festive. We love to see it. A Studer, give me some. What about the news about the 9,000 women suing Disney? Do you got anything on that? Court's gavel resounds. Certified class, pay divide. Disney's gendered scorn.
Damn.
Oh,
Man.
He said certified class. That was a serve. That was honestly a serve.
That truly was.
A Studer woke up with violence today.
Yes.
No, literally.
Like, damn, is it
Well,
not
he's
the
feeling.
holiday season?
I don't know.
A
It
Studer's
was
an
giving me a little
ally. What can he
renaissance.
say? What can he say?
Love it.
So anyway, don't forget, y'all. You need a Christmas gift. We got a couple shirts available for y'all. We still got our Rat Pride shirts. Check all that out. All of our Ride for Pride shirts, of course. All that money goes to the Trevor Project. Rat Castle is produced by me, Nathan Hartman, and you can subscribe, tell your friends, all that business. We would love some mail. We have one more episode this year. It's probably going to be light on news, so if you have questions for us, we would love to answer them. Please send them in. Any thoughts you have, anything like that, You can get all of that at bit.ly/ratcastle. Y'all, Merry Christmas, and it's so good to, and Happy Holidays, and it's just so good to see my rat family this evening. So good to see y'all.
So why don't we go ahead and end with it? Remember how Victoria mentioned at the beginning the Maryland Christmas song. So how about we end with that and grab your belongings and have a merry old Christmas.
In a department store north of Houston sat a Santa Claus on Christmas Eve. In a minute he knows the front door will close, and this tired old Santa can pack up and leave. But a big fella came out of nowhere, and he sat right down on Santa's knee. Well, the whole place stopped dead as the big fella said, "Dear Santa, I appreciate you listening to me." And he said, "Oh, I want crabs for Christmas. Oh, only crabs will do. Oh, with crabs for Christmas, my Christmas wish will come true." Well, that Santa, he started perspiring, and he looked like he might be in pain. And his face got all stiff as he asked the man if he would take just a moment and kindly explain. Well, the man said, "You know, I'm from Maryland, and them crabs is what I'm itching for. Don't you know, Santa dear, with steamed crabs and a beer, it would be like a trip back to old Baltimore." Baltimore. Oh, I want crabs for Christmas. Oh, only crabs will do. Oh, with crabs for Christmas, my Christmas wish will come true. Round the corner came two big policemen, and they saw that man on Santa's lap. Well, they reached for his throat and his bowling league coat, and they picked him up, losing his Oreo cap. Santa cried, "Put him down right this instant. Now, my boy, what you want's not so odd. But there's no crabs till May, so we'll hop on my sleigh, and we'll fly to New England, and I'll get you scrod." No, not scrod. Oh, I want crabs for Christmas. Oh, only crabs will do. Oh, filled with crabs for Christmas, my Christmas wish will come true.
Don't you know that's my Christmas whistle?
My Christmas wish will come true.